Welcome to the Quarantine Check-In. My guest today is the really funny Brett Mercer. He's a producer at the Independent Comedy Club, 313, and is on pretty much every show in the Detroit area. Brett, how are you holding up in this time of quarantine?
I'm holding up all right. Holding up all right, all things considered.
Yeah.
Things are different now. Times have changed. And I don't know. I'm doing all right. How are you?
I've had better months, but isolation in Livonia is not something that was ever on my bucket list.
Man, I've got about 20 years under my belt of quarantine in Livonia.
Right? Oh, did you grow up in Livonia?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I moved here on purpose in November.
Really? In November?
Yeah, I lived in Troy and decided to leave Troy for the comforts of Livonia.
It's nice. It's nice. Where do you? I don't want to. Where do you live? About?
I'm 7 mile between Farmington and Merriman.
Okay, yeah, I grew up right around there, basically.
It's a nice little area.
It's all right. Yeah,
You're
yeah. It's not bad. Nothing to do for a young kid, except for skateboard and go to the woods.
there was
But you know,
I was walking yesterday on Farmington, and there's a little creek area there, and there's a bunch of rubber gloves and beer cans.
oh really? So it was like a secret quarantine hangout where everyone still took precautions.
Yeah, but they took the gloves off and just littered them.
Well, maybe they thought, hey, someone else will use these.
It was just gross. Just
Yeah,
gross.
yeah.
So you're in Detroit, right?
Hamtramck.
Oh, so you live right by the Independent.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, God, you guys just had your 1 year anniversary, then all of this shit happened.
Basically, yeah, we had the anniversary of the soft opening. I want to say it was like the last. I want to say it was the last week that we had that was open,
Wow.
and then like the actual like hard opening. No, it wasn't the. I can't. I don't remember the dates, but like it was around like April 3rd and 4th. That was the official like big grand opening,
So
and we couldn't celebrate it. We were stuck at home.
that just sucks. The Independent, I think, is probably one of the two best comedy clubs in the area. And I said to Joanna, I'll say it to you guys, give so much opportunity to all the comics in the area, and that just makes it a treasure.
Yeah, man, that was the goal.
So what was the reason behind the opening of it?
Um, the reason, but I mean, the reason was to have a club, like a club that operated Friday and Saturday, all like full ass shows, so that there was always like a destination of where to go to see comedy instead of being like, oh, every third Saturday at O'Flanagan's Bar and Grill, and then every third Tuesday at Tommy's Crab Shack, and then every other what, you know what I mean? Like before, it was very like it's still. I mean, it still is a lot like that. Shows all over the place, but this was like a place that we could just push everyone to, you know, in order to get a stand-up presence like within like the Planet Ant sphere, because they've been around for a while doing comedy. We've been doing stand-up in Hamtramck and the surrounding area. Like, I mean, it's just been exponentially growing since I started, and this is like a weird like culmination, a coalescing of forces. The Independent Comedy Club was like the Biden campaign, where we all were doing our special things for the Detroit comedy scene. But at a certain point, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, it was like a big team thing that we are all gonna like work on together. And we're 1 year in, and now we all are quarantined because of coronavirus.
Yeah, yeah, and it sucks because you guys had so many great shows that were coming up,
Oh yeah, yeah, I know. I
and
know. And then we were just getting to the point where we could start like bringing back people who had already been here. like we had gone through a calendar year. It was about to like really dive into the momentum that we had going.
What was the favorite act that you guys have in your first year of existence that you guys produced?
Gosh, I mean, we've talked a lot about that in between us. And I mean, I think one of the main or one of the common, I mean, Eddie Pepitone, of course. He's fucking amazing. There's been what's that?
He's a legend.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't talk to him. I wanted to talk to him so bad, but I was like, this is like, I'm like in awe of this guy. I can't really. I was just like, hey, thanks, and then just didn't talk to him again.
So you're like Donald Glover's character on Community when LeVar Burton came over. You just
Exactly. I was never supposed to meet Eddie Pepitone. I just wanted a picture.
How the hell did that one even come about?
I know we were looking for a banger for the opening. There was like a whole weekend of shows for the opening. One of them, I think it was like Sam Rager. We did like an album release thing for her. Josh, we did a podcast early, and then I I think I think it was through Bobbit that we got in touch with Eddie Pepe. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm pretty removed from the booking.
So what exactly is your role there, Bob?
I do like posters. I do a lot of the graphics and I guess I'm there just to stack chairs and to like runs. I kind of fit in where I fit in. I was like during the opening or the conception of the place, I was like super heavy, super busy at work and didn't have a lot of time, and then was like brought on like once my schedule kind of cleared up. So I kind of fit a weird role where I kind of just handle a lot of the graphics, the visual element of, I don't know. That's mostly what it is. And then I just show up and I go like, hey, you need me to stack these chairs? You need me to host? Whatever you need me to do, I'm here, baby.
I think the last time I saw you live was at a weekend I was there doing an opening for Sean Brennan. You hosted the cocktail hour, and those are always a hit or miss shows, but I think it's so much fun just watching everyone try to do their best material in front of maybe 100 people.
Yeah.
But it's always a fun time. So how did you get started in comedy and why?
I loved it forever, you know. Then I got a desk job where I got to listen to podcasts all day and realized that you can actually start and do it yourself. And so like, yeah, I mean, it was just like a spur of the moment thing where I was like, you know what, maybe this week I'll call. So I called like Joey's Comedy Club and Mark Ridley's and did it for the first time at Ridley's at their open mic. Ate shit real bad. And then I did some of the open mics around in the following like couple months, and then had a real bad time at the New Dodge comedy night, which after a couple of years turned into Trixie's, but it used to be at this place called the New Dodge. And I was just like, it felt bad, and I was like, you know what, this isn't for me. So I just stopped doing it for about a year and a half, and then like was bored one evening and checked out the New Way and was like, this is kind of fun. I'll try it again. So I tried it again, and my goal was to make the New Dodge laugh. And then after a couple months, I finally got the New Dodge to laugh at my jokes, and then I just never stopped.
That's cool.
Why? That's a good question. I don't know. I just liked it, thought I could contribute something to its existence.
How has your style changed since you started?
Wow, a lot. Because like when I first started, I was really into like all of this, like I want to say like I guess adventurous, out there, weird ways you could do stand up, like the things that were breaking the form. So I immediately tried to do that stuff and immediately ate shit trying to do that. And then over the years, it's been trying to like break that habit and like actually learn like the process and like learn like the hard and fast rules of the shit that I thought were not worth learning. And then, it's been a process of trying to learn that through trial and error, trying to figure out what would appeal to people, what people like. I don't know. And it's been a struggle the whole time, actually.
What I enjoy about your stuff is that your stuff is so different. Like there was a joke you had about Facebook where you're just trying to sell the idea of Facebook. I thought that was just so brilliant because I've never heard anything like that before. You aren't talking about let's get high, let's jerk off, let's do all the staples every new comic does.
Mm-hmm.
I like the way you twist stuff.
No, thanks, man. I think that definitely comes from that initial instinct of the things I liked initially about stand-up were people who did it different. Because like I kind of had this idea that like regular stand-up comedy was extremely boring, and for old people it'd be like, oh, you do lose a sock in the dryer, And then I don't know, I guess doing it so long has made me like appreciate that kind of stuff more. But trying to fit like the weirder out there stuff into something that would be palatable, I think has been the ultimate challenge with my stuff. And I got pretty close to getting good at it, and then the coronavirus hit.
I'm pretty sure the coronavirus was created in a lab by people who hated comedy and just wanted people to stay at home and watch Netflix. So I'm pretty sure Netflix created the coronavirus.
Oh, for sure.
That's my theory of the day.
Hey, Oh, it was convenient that Tiger King came out right as the quarantine hit. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
they were like Donald Trump. There's this virus that's sweeping Asia and in Italy, and it's coming to the United States. And then like his buddies were like, no, you can't go into panic mode yet. We're almost done editing Tiger King. And they're like, all right, we're done. Go for it. Announce. Let's get this shit out there.
I'm going to send this to Alex Jones to see if he picks it up.
Yeah. It's way more than just a Tiger King. It goes all the way to the top.
So what are your goals? What are your ultimate goals for comedy?
Do it again.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't know. Like I've been thinking about, especially having time off from stand up. It's kind of given me an opportunity to think about like broader goals than just like the day to day of growing in stand up, and like mixed with all like the producing stuff that I already do, and like now with the stream and stuff, it's becoming more and more I guess interwoven with all of my like hobbies and shit. Hello, cat. So my first goal was always to like get a good scene going around here, help that however I can. But now it's becoming like, how can I meld like the video production and graphics that I do for work with the stand-up, with the comedy chops that I learned from stand-up, and then trying to see if I can. I guess my next goal is to figure out how to combine all these things into like something that is like unique.
No, that's awesome. Because
I think the next goal is a Bo Burnham style multimedia performance.
I'd watch it.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it.
Where do you see comedy heading once we're all allowed back out of the house?
God, that's we've been contemplating this every night on stream, and I go back and forth between thinking that no one's ever going to shake hands again. We're all going to be spread apart in comedy clubs wearing masks, to like there's going to be a renaissance once we can touch people again. And I don't know. I don't have an answer within my heart for that yet. I think that there's going to be a lot of people who are excited for comedy to come back. I can't imagine it's going to change at all. I guess that's my answer. I don't see it. I don't think it's going to be very different than it ever has been. Maybe like a week or a couple weeks of like a bunch of people trying it for the first time who've got the inspiration throughout the quarantine. A bunch of people like just getting out there, getting the rust off their shit again. Um, I think that's at least on a local level. On like a national level, um, I don't know. This quarantine has shown that we're all on the exact same page with this shit.
Yeah.
No one right now. No one has the tools to create anything uh, that anyone else can't, so to speak.
No, I think it's interesting that the comedians who are serious about it are out there creating some sort of content on a daily basis, even if not doing their normal set, just to keep their chops up.
Yeah, and I think I don't know. I've heard a lot of different opinions and perspectives. Do you think that there's going to be a lot of people quitting, and do you also think that there's going to be a bunch of people starting for the first time?
I think there's going to be a lot of people quitting because their priorities changed, or their if their finances won't let them do it, or that the interest is gone. It's like when you spend so much time doing something and not having it in your life, you find something else to replace it.
Right. Yeah, that does make sense. I can't imagine a world where I wouldn't continue to do stand up, but I kind of get it now because I'm scared to go back out in public. I don't miss a lot of the parts of stand up, like driving everywhere, having shitty shows, not knowing how to like get something to work, the apathy of it all. Like I can definitely see myself being like, I don't need to grind for this specific thing as hard, you know? So I definitely get that perspective of somebody who is just like, was wiped out in the quarantine from the comedy scene.
I think a lot of people, the ones who have friends and relationships with people, they're the ones who are going to stick with it because they're still talking to the people in their community. They're still virtually hanging out, maybe doing some Zoom open mics. Which
have you done any of those?
I hosted 2, and then one night I was really, really high and went and did a bunch of them throughout the country, like in LA.
Really?
Yeah.
How do those work? Are they fun?
One of the ones I did in LA was really fun. It was through a place called Fourth Wall, and it was just all the comics knew each other. I didn't know anyone, and I was the last one to go up, and I just started riffing off of everybody else's set, and it was the first time that everyone was really just laughing at my stuff, and I'm like, yeah, this was fun. Maybe I'll do it again. And then my Zoom got hacked, and their customer service hasn't been able to unlock it, or hasn't even contacted me about unlocking it.
Wow, so that's crazy. Is it just your password got stolen?
No, someone hacked and changed my email to theirs, and then because I had the Zoom Premium, where I could have longer meetings, they charged money to my credit card.
Oh, that fucking sucks.
Yeah, and my credit card company is like, well, you signed up for Zoom. This was just a monthly thing. And I'm like, well, if you guys were, diligently did your job, you would have noticed that I paid for it on April 4th, and this is April 18th. or yesterday, April 18th is when it all went down.
Yeah.
So, fucking sucks. Like, all they have for right now, customer service is an answering service. We can't do shit. The Zoom sucks. I want my money back.
I've heard a lot of not so good stuff about Zoom and their security and their privacy.
Well, I read yesterday like almost 1 million accounts ended up on the dark web. So it's weird. Like it's just sort of, I've had a few things hacked. Someone tried to hack my Amazon account. Someone tried to hack my LinkedIn account. Someone tried to hack my Facebook and my Vimeo.
Jesus Christ. Do they think that you're the actual Rob Schneider and you might have some residual money that they could get their hands on, or what?
I'm sure that 35 cents I got for Deuce Bigelow is going to make some hacker's day.
Yeah. I've yet to use Zoom, but so when you were doing the open mic, like, did you get a sense of like the immediacy of feedback that you get with crowd-based comedy, which is a weird way to say it?
No, not really. The closest I ever got to being at a bar, someone had their TV up and they were watching Home Alone, and I had to yell at them to turn the fucking volume down.
Oh, I can't believe you were heckled on a Zoom open mic by Tim Allen.
No, Home Alone. It was Macaulay Culkin and
Home Alone, right. Alone, Improvement, two different things, right?
So
hey, we've been doing the stream, right? And it's like it's only with up to like a couple people at a time, and every now and then, like I'll have a joke that lands, and people like laugh. I'm like, oh yeah, oh yeah. There's a thing here that I haven't experienced in a long time.
I remember that sound so well.
Yeah.
So one thing I like about you is you have amazing taste in music. What have you been listening to?
Oh, dude. Let's see here. I haven't been listening to a lot of music because I've been on the podcasts and watching Trump every day.
Oh, God.
But I listened to that new Strokes album.
How is it?
It's okay. It's okay. It definitely made me want to listen to old Strokes, which is fantastic.
Their first album is still their best album.
For sure. It's like flawless.
Yeah, and then I like one of Albert Hammond Jr.'s albums. I think it was his first or second one.
Other than that, let's see here. Charlie XCX is like in the studio every day these days, like doing a bunch of like quarantine. So like those songs have been trickling out and they've been really good.
I'll check that out.
Did you listen to any of that PC music stuff when it was popping?
Which PC music stuff?
It's just like a London collective of extremely hyper pop and like harsh noise.
No, I haven't. I don't even know about it.
So they just started this thing called Perfect Music Fridays. It's like a playlist and it's like wild and out there, eclectic. It's good. That's another thing I've been listening to.
Is it on Spotify?
Yeah, I think so.
Check it out. I'll have to check it out. I have my musical thing. I've been compiling this list of the ultimate indie rock cover songs.
Oh, all right. So, did you listen to that Built to Spill covers Daniel Johnston album?
Yes, I think some of those are on there. I'm a huge Daniel Johnston fan. I'm also a bigger fan of musicians who cover his music.
Yeah. That I saw. I don't think I listened to the whole album, but I know I was like, I'm gonna remember this for when like I need that perfect record,
Built to Spill is one of my favorite bands.
Yeah, dude, they are really good.
What else have you been listening to?
Well, right before the quarantine, hit, I was getting really into like jazz. I was listening to like a lot of like bebop, like Coltrane, and I just watched that the first half of that Miles Davis documentary on Netflix. So I've been meaning to like listen to jazz more. But again, like I said, I haven't been listening to any music. I listened to the new Childish Gambino album. That was another one.
Yeah, I have that in my list of new music to listen to.
Yeah. I'm torn. I'm torn on Childish Gambino. I tend to enjoy it while I listen to it, but for some reason I'm always like hypercritical of it, and I think it's because of a couple of cringe lyrics that I can't stop remembering.
Oh, yeah. That, like, for me, it's cringe dialogue in movies or TV shows that can ruin something for me. But
Yeah.
I, I like Childish Gambino, but I'm so jealous of him because he's so multi-talented.
Oh yeah, dude. I, we just started watching Atlanta. Also, I haven't really gotten too far into it, but it's like how he's so good. How is he? How is he this good?
I don't know, man. For a guy who got his start on Community, he
Mhm.
he's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
the it child of every scene right now. Music, movies, television.
Hmm.
Yeah. All right. So I normally end this by reading a misconnection from Craigslist, and I'd like to riff a joke off of it, if possible. So every night I go and search for the best one out there, and I'm going to read you one, and if you can craft a joke, that would be great.
Okay.
This one's called "To the Woman Who Gave Me Herpes." We had a magical night together. It started with drinks and an amazing conversation. We then ended back at my place where we really got to know each other. The next morning, after I told you that I loved you, you said we had nothing in common and you walked out of my life. I was devastated. I found and lost the love of my life. Every night I prayed to God to find a way to bring us together. Then something happened. I discovered I had herpes. After the doctor gave me the results, I jumped for joy because we now have this in common. So, what do you say? Do you want to give us a try? I hope you say yes. When you respond, tell me what poster is on the wall next to my bed.
That's already a perfect. It's already a joke. Discovering that you had something in common. Oh my god, that's very funny. What that was a how is that a misconnection?
I don't know. It was in the misconnection section.
All right.
And I'm glad you liked it because I will admit I wrote that one and placed it out there just to see what the fuck would happen.
Oh, really?
That's become my new hobby, writing fake misconnections just to get reactions.
That's so funny. We did the discovering that you did have something in common. Rob, that's good stuff.
Thank
It's
you.
good stuff.
Thank you.
Um, let's see here. What was the title?
To the woman who gave me herpes.
Uh, and this is from username Burning Desire 616.
That's
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like I think about you often. I don't know. I don't know much about herpes, to be honest. It like flares up every now and then, huh? That could be part of the joke.
I would say it's a burning love,
Mm.
or I would say it's I'll be honest. I was trying to work in the songs on Breakfast at from the song lyrics from the song Breakfast at Tiffany's in there, and then I realized somebody would have figured out it was fake at that point.
Well, I mean, that would be the what would the response to that be? It's like, dearest William, you had a Spin Doctors poster beside your bed. I could tell that you were into 90s alternative rock cosplay. Uh, by the time by the time I don't know. I can't think. As I was no, that's what it was. I could tell you were into 90s alternative rock lyric cosplay when you whistled at me while hanging out with Mr. Jones. The night that we spent together was magical. We drove around that town and let the cops chase us around.
Wasn't that was Mr. Jones? That was the Goo Goo Dolls.
That was
Jealousy.
Hey Jealousy by I don't remember who.
It was the Goo Goo Dolls.
Was it?
I fucking hate the Goo Goo Dolls so much.
Dude, I don't. Yeah, same.
I dated a girl who loved them, and I was like, "This is not going to work out." I will have, but I will not go to any concerts with you. That's where I drew the line.
That's what I said now. That's what he said. He said, "That's what I said now."
No, I wouldn't.
Who's
wouldn't
that?
Do that.
I'm trying to just put every single song that I can remember from 96.3 The Planet into the same story about passing herpes along.
Fuck, I forgot about that radio station.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so bad. It was bad.
It was like the station that was always on at the dentist, and they'd play it'd play Eagle Eye Cherry,
Black Rose.
Mm-hmm. All that kind of stuff.
It was alternative light.
Yes.
It was such a bad station. Now I got to go clear my head of it again.
So where did you post that?
It was on Craigslist and the Misconnections, just Metro Detroit Farm. I put it in Farmington Hills because you have to put a zip code in, and that was like one of the few zip codes I actually knew.
Damn, are you actually finding some interesting ones?
Yeah, there was one I found. I'll read it to you, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. I did not write this one. I wish I did. It's called "Remember Out Back" from Dearborn, Michigan. Do you remember all those nights together out back when the house was quiet and it was dark? You were amazing, and I miss our discreet fun. I'd love to see you again. It's getting to be nice out. I have such a taste for your companionship. We would lay a blanket or play in the Florida room. You always loved my tongue ring. I missed the way you would moan. Our special secret times. Big hint. You were not a male.
Oh. Whoa. Whoa, that's a big hint. That eliminates about half the population.
Yep. Yep. I want to know what the fuck a Florida room is. Is it just with FSU flags? Do they dress up as gators?
It's the part of the house where you get pissed drunk and fucking fuck around with some gator.
Yeah.
No, it's usually like a addition. Like it's a house. It's like a little like a caged in or I guess screened in like porch.
Okay.
I heard somebody refer to it as a Florida room years ago, and I was like, "What the hell are you talking about? Are we going to go to your Ohio kitchen next?"
Or your Nebraska basement?
Yeah. Or your Rhode Island attic. I can go on for hours. This is my joke writing process.
I don't know, man. I would prefer to go to the Illinois pantry.
Yep.
I'll ever have a house, I want one with a dumbwaiter.
What's a dumbwaiter?
It's like an elevator, but it's really small that you like put food in.
Oh, yeah, that'd be sick.
Or one of those chairs like the woman had in Gremlins that would go up the stairs so you wouldn't have to climb it.
Man, I used to live in a house that had like a special compartment for milk, for the milkman to come by.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, dude. It was in Livonia.
That explains it. Hold on. How old was your house? Because by the time you were growing up, milkmen went extinct.
Yeah, it was. I don't know how old the house was. I would guess like 50s, like suburban sprawl era, post-war. Everyone gets a house, and the milkman comes by every day. Kind of 50s Americana utopia that Livonia was supposed to be.
Man, glad I wasn't alive then. It would be so fucking boring.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
when you grew up in Livonia, did you ever go to Steeden House?
To what?
It was a buffet restaurant right next to the Classic Movie and Comic Center at 7 Mile and Middlebelt.
Oh, I've definitely been to that comic shop. Definitely tried to sneak into the 18 and older section as a young boy.
We all did. We all
Uh,
did.
What? I don't think I ever went to that buffet though. I used to ride my bike to that comic shop to buy, comic books and things. I never bought comic books. I'd only buy like cards, like Pokemon cards and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I used to buy comics there all the time. I find it weird that it's now a Planet Fitness.
Is it?
Yeah.
Weird, because there used to be like a huge gym next to it.
Was there?
Did it all become one? Man, it's been so long. Like my parents still live over there, and every now and like when I go over there, I'm like, it feels weird because for the longest time I'd drive around and I'd see things like, oh yeah, this is where I grew up and shit. But now, like, there's so much that's unrecognizable, and I guess I've just gotten old enough to the point where I don't have any connection with it yet anymore.
No, I feel the same way. Like I was right before we were told we couldn't go visit friends, I went to visit a friend to pick up some stuff. As I was driving home, I drove past my childhood home in Oak Park, and I'm like, man, how the fuck did I ever live here?
Right, right. I just think about my life now, and there's nobody. I just ride my bike all over the place, and not. It just seems weird that it was so empty and like monotonous, and I can't believe it completely explains why like everything that happened as a kid. I was like, well, I couldn't exist there now. I'd go crazy. That's why I felt so crazy growing up.
Yeah, yeah, and probably because you were cool.
Yeah, I've been known to hang out under a bleacher or two.
Man, must be nice. Must be nice. Well, man, this has been awesome. I hope to see you sooner than later.
Hell yeah. You should come on the stream sometime. Are you busy at night?
I'm free every night except for Tuesday. That's when I teach. So
Cool. What do you teach?
I teach an advertising class.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yep. I'm a respected copywriter and teacher. Ooh, I love that. I gotta start getting sound effects on here.
But yeah, I mean, definitely, if you want to come by, pop in for 5 minutes or 3 hours or however long.
Plan for maybe Friday.
Yeah, we'll hit you up.
All right, cool, man. I'll
Cool.
talk to you soon, and thank you for being on the show.
Oh, of course. Thanks for having me.
Well,
Cool. Talk soon.
bye.
Bye.